Oh, hello folks, this is Steve Pwn2Own. It's raining out, so I have to play on my computer instead. Now, I want to show you something. Nothing in this episode is a promotion nor is it a recommendation. It's just observation. You know, Bleeping Computers is like the leading rag on the net for cyber attack, hacking news, like that. Today is the 22nd of March 2024. It's Friday. Tuesday, in preparation for doing my monthly update of all my computers, Windows update, I updated my FireFox, well, my browsers, and I noted that FireFox had an update, but Google Chrome did not. Brave did not. See, those are Chromium based. And Edge, Microsoft Edge, which is also Chromium open source based, did not. Firefox updated, security update, Tuesday. Today's Friday. So we're looking at Bleeping Computer. And it says, now the date of this is published today at 1:45 p.m., 4 hours ago. Mozilla Firefox fixes 2 Firefox zero-day bugs. Zero-day means just discovered. Nobody knew they were there. Exploited at Pwn2Own, Pwn, the number 2, OWN. Pwn2Own is a competition, public competition, where hackers come. It's like going to the county fair and you compete on, oh, here's my apple pie, which one tastes the best? You can tell what kind of background I have. Small town. Hackers earn $1,132,500,000. Hackers for 29 zero days. I just explained what a 0 day is. At Pwn2Own Vancouver. So there's just been a multi-day county fair hackathon called Pwn2Own, well known, in Vancouver. Is that BC, Canada? This was published at 1:13 a.m. this morning. So it's summarizing something that just has finished yesterday. Pwn2Own Vancouver 2024 has entered with security researchers collecting, and I just said it, having demoed 29 zero days and some bug collisions. The total prize pool was over $1,300,000, and it included the winners, among others, got a Tesla Model 3. Oh, they gave away an expensive car? Yeah, Tesla did. Tesla itself won money plus a car for somebody finding something that about Tesla's electronics, that they thought was really important, that would maybe make it easy to steal all of them or something. So they talk about all the different systems like Windows 11, Ubuntu Desktop, VMware, Oracle, and the browsers, Apple Safari, Google Chrome, Microsoft, okay. Vendors have 90 days. Now, the competition is the guys demonstrate it using computers on like an Apple computer or whatever, or the car. Vendors have 90 days to release security fixes for zero-day vulnerabilities reported during Pwn2Own contests before the Trend Micro Zero-Day Initiative discloses them publicly. This is the standard thing. Now you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Here's some names. It's either a person's name like Manfred Paul, or it's a team, Snacktiv or whatever, all right? And look at what they're winning. You can see the money. So this is serious business. Now, it just ended yesterday, right? It's multi-day, like a county fair. They've announced the winners, the top people, basically which products. So let's go back here. Mozilla fixes 2 FireFox zero-day bugs exploited at Pwn2Own. Now, I just told you when I started that in preparation for doing my monthly security updates on all my Windows computers, Tuesday going into, I actually did it after midnight. Of the browsers I have, only Mozilla did an update. But that update wouldn't have had anything to do with the hackathon. So why don't I start my copy of FireFox, which I just did, and why don't I go over here and say help about FireFox. Downloading update. When was the last time I checked on this machine? I can tell you. I told you that I did the monthly security updates for Windows 10 updates on Tuesday going into Wednesday, right? I always do all security updates and file checking and drive checkings every Friday. Sometimes I do it in a Friday evening, but today I did it just after midnight. It took about 2 hours. Yes, making sure my computers are clean is a #1 priority. Did Firefox browser update at midnight today? No. So how do I know to update Firefox now? I read it in the news. And just as I read something published a couple of hours ago saying that a hackathon big money bug just got fixed, and now I'm going to go do all my Firefox. All right? Yeah, this is Firefox. See, you say help about Firefox. Checking for updates, Firefox is up to date. But earlier this morning, Firefox was up to date. And I'm relating it to the news. We've had a lull about a month ago in all the reports about this kind of stuff, and now it's coming back really, the stuff is almost out of hand. Oh yeah, then there's this one I mentioned in another video. So, you know, I said that I did my Windows updates. Actually, I did some research before I chose to do it instead of waiting maybe even another week, because there's this article here. Now this affects primarily business owners. Any business, it doesn't matter what the business is. It could be motels, it could be retail, it could be doctor's offices, at a hospital. Microsoft confirms Windows Server issue behind domain controller crashes. What's a domain controller? Well, you have a bank and you've got a call center and you've got 200 people on duty answering, and they all have computers, and their connection to the databases and updates is all done through what's called the domain controllers, where they report home to. I don't have that at home because each computer is standalone. So I just gave you an example. I mean, I once did support for a company as a technician. Oh, it was Wachovia at their headquarters in downtown Raleigh. Yeah, so you've got a bank, and then you put on this latest security updates for the monthly thing from Microsoft, and your whole system crashes. Ain't that wonderful? Now, why did I stray off onto this? Who needs bad guys? Russian hackers target German political parties with wine loader malware. Who needs those guys to ruin you? Just let Microsoft do it. Every month, one way or another. The trillion-dollar corporation that don't need to test anything. See, the deal about it is, for it to make a headline, remember, I'm an idiot running my mouth. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Microsoft confirms. Microsoft confirms that a memory leak introduced with the March 2024 Windows Server security update is behind a widespread, keyword, widespread. What does that mean? Sometimes a few people experience a problem and it gets reported. But what happens when it's an avalanche of complaints? As many admins have warned over the last week, affected servers are freezing and restarting unexpectedly. Since installation of the March updates, that's a spelling error. They have March without a capital L, that means to walk. Exchange as well as regular Windows Server updates, most of our DCs show constantly increasing memory usage until they die. Memory leak ends up using all the main memory, and there's nothing to run the domain controller processes on, so it just crashes. Thank you, Microsoft Testing. Now look, if it wasn't doing that before the update, then they touched something in their code, who knows where, in preparation for releasing the updates for this month. Now you see, you think about this all started off with about that FireFox critical. My FireFox is not. Every time I see these security fixes from FireFox, the next day my computer doesn't start crashing. I mean, same thing for my Google browser. I mean, I've got my browsers running all the time. They could be leaking so much memory, they could crash my computer, couldn't they? I'm trying to show you what's going on. Never mind these guys that are in China and these guys that are in North Korea, excuse me, or these guys in Moscow getting in there and spreading malware. How about Microsoft? Every month. Now let's see if it was this. Now remember, how soon did I know about it? Ask Woody. Oh, that's taking a long time. They know who it is. Is their site not answering? You mean the search engine took that long to find? What's going on with Google search? Now I go here regularly. You see they have a, DEFCON, Strategic Air Command. What DEFCON are we at? They're still at 2. Patch reliability is unclear unless you have an immediate pressing need to install a specific patch. Don't do it. The March updates for Windows opened the month on a bumpy road. March 18th. Today's the 22nd. She's kind of the lead on this. She took it over from Woody. The most significant bump related to the update for Windows Server, demonstrating that it's not just client PCs that have problems. Fortunately, the problem seems to have been fixed quickly. The culprit is this one. There's Microsoft. Remember, this security update includes improvements. Active Directory, I'm not going to explain what that is. Active Directory domains, domain controller that hosts mobile device management, certificate-based authentication changes on the Windows domain controller. That's the second one. Right there, that one. It's an improvement. No testing needed. Our programmers, drawn from all over the world, are geniuses. No need to check them. Okay? So what this started out to be is, I was going to show you how. Oh, wait a minute, there's a comment on this. Let's check and see what the comment is. That was fast. Look at what this guy said. That was fast. They found it like a day or 2 days ago at the hackathon, and it's already out there. And my browser hasn't, and my computer hasn't crashed yet. But if this had been Microsoft, okay? Steve AB for you. Just remember, I started with Windows 2. Yeah. Steve AB for you. Just having fun on this Friday. Saying see you at 73. Folks, I'm back with an addendum. I've just come back from shopping. I was out for a couple hours shopping after I finished that wonderful exposition about that marvelous domain controller memory leak fiasco that Microsoft has released on the world in the... So I got my computer on. I'm looking at Bleeping Computer, which is one of my tabs, and wow! Microsoft releases emergency fix for Windows Server crashes. Emergency fix. Microsoft has released, first time I'm reading this part, released emergency out-of-band OOB updates, that's plural, to fix a known issue causing Windows domain controllers to crash after installing the March 2024 Windows Server security updates. Now remember what I said in that long spaghetti thing, that this kind of defect, bug, malware would affect businesses around the world. What are emergency out of band? What's that? Microsoft gets word or finds out that there's a 0-day, a hack. I'm going to give you an example. A hack that allows an intruder to take over an entire system in 10 seconds. Doesn't require any login or special privileges or physical access. And it's like, it's not chaining three things together. It's a single action, and in 10 seconds, they take over your whole system. What Microsoft does when they find out about that kind, they issue an OOB, out of band. What's an out of band? You turn your computer on, and maybe you have your computer set to automatically check to see, like in my case, is there an update to my browser, Edge, or is there an update to my antivirus? And as soon as your computer makes contact with Microsoft for any reason, in other words, you don't intentionally go to like the Microsoft Store, but maybe there's something that checks with Microsoft Store to see if there's anything in a category that you like that they would show you. I have all that crap turned off. Any reason why your computer contacts Microsoft means to Microsoft that your computer's on, and they interrogate it to see if it's a domain controller, for example, and it needs an OOB emergency right now. We're not going to tell you, we're not going to ask for permission, we're going to force it down onto your machine. It's that critical. That's what an OOB is. People won't have to go and get this. If their computer in any way makes the servers, if they in any way make contact with Microsoft for any reason, they will get the download. That's what OOB is. Now, why am I going through this? You saw how I ranted about the #1 malware company in the world is Microsoft. Why would they issue this if what I was saying to you 2 hours ago wasn't completely so? Ordinarily, when they have difficulties, they work out over a couple of days, and sometimes they defer it to the next month's updates. But an OOB is something that is or could be crippling worldwide. And that's what this Patch Tuesday security fix was. A security fix. A security fix that's killing all of the domain servers in the businesses around the world. Pardon me for going on. You think what I was saying before was too strong? You mean they didn't? How can customers from around the world in one day avalanched them about this defect, and they didn't see it before they issued it? You mean they never tested it even on their own network? Yeah, they never tested it. It's what I said. These geniuses don't need anybody to check up on them. Or, and I've had this experience when I was working for that internationally known, internationally operating IT company. You're about to do a release with fully tested patches, and somebody comes with an emergency fix. We've got to put it in now. And there's no time, because it's Patch Tuesday, and at a certain time on Patch Tuesday, the world has access to, we'll just jam it in there. This is so important. No, we didn't know, but the guy who did this is a genius. That's what this was. Betcha. That's what this was, that they would tell the truth. That this one that they fell on their knees and broke their ankles over, and now they got an OOB out. And why did it take them 3 days, 4 days, 5 days? Because they couldn't figure it out. Yeah. You remember earlier in this episode, I talked about the guys in Vancouver hackathon showed a 0 day, and the next day, in less than a day, Mozilla's got a security fix, and it hasn't crashed anything. I'm making a contrast. You can tell I love Microsoft. Believe me, the spirit of Bill Gates is fully alive in present-day Microsoft. If you only knew his history and Windows history, if you had worked with it since version 2. Steve A. for you. Remember, I'm an idiot. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. I've been retired forever. Saying see you in 73.